One Zambia, one nation. Hello and welcome to the news. I am your presenter, Henry Himonde. Here are the headlines. Government warns perpetrators of corruption. Northwestern Province Police Command receives CDF vehicles. Rehabilitation of township roads in Mongu district begins. And former Magoye lawmaker put to rest. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has reiterated government's commitment to fighting corruption. Mr. Hichilema restated the pledge in a speech read on his behalf by Home Affairs Minister Jack Mwimbu during the commemoration of the International Anti-Corruption Day. Munambonge was at the event and filed in this report.
20 years ago, Zambia signed the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, which was adopted by General Assembly of the United Nations at the United Nations headquarters in New York. Today, countries join the rest of the world in commemorating the 2023 International Anti-Corruption Day and use the event to launch the Anti-Corruption Commission strategic and implementation plans. Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbu, represented President Hakainde Hichilema at the opening ceremony of the commemoration.
Our government remains unwavering in its commitment to fighting corruption and ensuring that no public official is allowed to engage in corrupt practice with impunity. Our government is committed to working closely with the international community and cooperating partners, and at the same time would not shield any public official found engaging in corruption. We shall not tolerate corruption in the entire public service. Therefore, I urge all institutions and individuals involved in procurement, government contract awards, not to engage in any corrupt practices. The long arm of the law will soon visit you. I call upon all Zambians to stand united against corruption by exposing corrupt acts in our communities.
And Anti-Corruption Commission Board Chairperson Musa Mwenye explained the importance of the Commission's strategic and implementation plans.
The mission statement recognizes that the fight against corruption, if effectively done, ultimately safeguards public resources and is therefore a smart economic strategy. The mission statement will be achieved through 7 strategic objectives. The strategic objectives demonstrate the continuous improvements that the Commission will need to make to achieve the desired results in the areas of focus.
Meanwhile, United Nations UN Resident Coordinator Beatrice Montali explained the role that stakeholders play in the fight against corruption in the country.
Let me recognize the role of civil society in the country, such as Transparency International, Zambia chapter, and others who provide the much-needed collective and inclusive complementary support to the government and relevant institutions in the country. As we celebrate the gains made, let us take stock of the gaps and act to address challenges. One key area is the need to explore deliberately the gendered dimensions of corruption, particularly its negative impacts on the rights and participation of women, the youth, and persons with disabilities. As we move forward, it is imperative to amplify the role and efforts and participation of women and youth as vibrant and energetic agents of change to ensure that no one is left behind in the fight against corruption.
At the same function, SEC awarded media personnel for reporting on corruption in the country. Munachwende for ZANIS in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, government has embarked on the rehabilitation of some roads in Mongu town of Western Province. Speaking to journalists after inspecting the rehabilitation works, Minister of Infrastructure and Urban Development Charles Milupi reaffirmed government's commitment to improving the road network in the province. Southern Province Minister Credo Nanjua has assured the Provincial Police Command that government will complete the construction of the division headquarters in Choma, which has stalled for over 5 years. And in Northwestern Province, Permanent Secretary Grandson Katambi has handed over 12 police vehicles to constituencies which were procured using the 2022 Constituents Development Fund CDF allocation. Details in this report by Mary Ndlovu.
An effort to enhance law enforcement capabilities by the police service, government has bought police motor vehicles for all the constituencies across the country using 2022 CDF allocation. Northwestern Province has received its share.
And fortunately now these vehicles clearly marked CDF. So wherever you go, you'll be monitored and watched. So we are saying this is not just enough, but more things are to come. But even as we wait for more to come, please let us look after this equipment.
And Northwestern Province Police Commissioner Dennis Mola said the motor vehicles will help in addressing logistical challenges faced by the officers in the province.
On behalf of the Inspector General of Police and the High Command, let me express my gratitude to the government of the Republic of Zambia for buying Zambia Police and the people of Northwestern Province 12 brand new CDF Land Cruisers. This is done in order to enhance our operation in fighting crime.
Northwestern Province Police Community Service Division Coordinator gave a vote of thanks.
On behalf of Zambia Police, and indeed on my own behalf, wish to thank the government of His Excellency, the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for thinking about police amidst other challenging needs that our nation is facing.
Meanwhile, United Party for National Development UPND acting provincial chairperson had this to say.
I remember in his keynote speech he gave during inauguration ceremony, he stated that us as UPND, we shall be always checking on the wrist. Whatever that we have promised, we tick. Whatever that we have promised, we tick. For sure, surely, this is walking the talk.
For ZANIS, in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province, I am Mary Ndlovu.
The news continues. Minister of Education Douglas Siagalima has urged youths to take advantage of the many youth empowerment programs that government has initiated countrywide. Mr. Siagalima, who is also Chirundu Member of Parliament, was speaking when he launched the Youth Integrated Livelihoods Program, being sponsored by the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA. More in this report.
In order to contribute to strengthening the resilience of youths and children in Chirundu District and Siavonga District of Southern Province, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency has launched a project that is expected to transform the lives of the beneficiaries. Dubbed the Youth Integrated Livelihoods and WASH project is aimed at improving the vulnerable youth's livelihoods through animal rearing, among many others. Minister of Education and Chirundu Member of Parliament, Douglas Siagalima, launched a project which is anchored on government's policy and agenda for youth empowerment agenda.
The Youth Integrated Livelihoods and WASH is a project is more than just a program. It is a commitment to empowering the next generation, providing them with the tools they need to build not only their future, but the future of our communities and our nation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am informed that ADRA Zambia, with financial support from the German government, is implementing the WASH project in Chirundu and Siavonga districts of Southern Province, and that the project will be implemented for 36 months from October 2023 to September 2026. The overall objective of the project is to contribute to strengthening resilience of youth and children in Chirundu and Siavonga districts, and also aims to, one, assist vulnerable youth.
As for Chirundu and Siavonga district administrations, the project is designed to complement the government's various youth empowerment programs.
The provision of market booster, soft loans, under the Citizen Economic Empowerment Fund. Through the expanded Constitutional Development Fund CDF. The new Dawn government is also giving both grants and soft loans with aim to bettering the lives of the people.
Today's meeting is not just an assembly. It's a celebration of the energy, ideas and aspirations that define our youth. This meeting is a statement to our commitment to fostering unity, dialogue and collaboration among the youth of our community. Our youth are not just the leaders of tomorrow. They are leaders of today.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency envisioned a future where a young person has a chance to thrive, contribute to society, and build a life of purpose.
It's from this background that ADRA Zambia focuses on well-being of youths, well-being of women, and well-being of everyone, including those and mainstreaming gender and disability. Focus to keep children in school who have a garden, and we hope it will be a very vibrant garden to produce only for school feeding but as well as for income generation. So we have that commitment, and we thank the government departments who we work with, because we are just contributing to the bigger mandate of government.
ZANIS reports in Chirondo District, Southern Province.
We now take our first break, but more stories when we come back. Stay tuned.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, ZANIS TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo says government attaches importance to the training of health professionals to improve health care provision in the country. Ms. Masebo was speaking in a speech read on her behalf by Central Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala during the 5th combined graduation ceremony of health professionals drawn from 6 nursing and midwifery colleges in Central Province. More in the following report by Daniel Bidi.
It is the 5th combined graduation ceremony for 1,036 registered nurses, registered nurse midwives, public health nurses, HIV nurse practitioners, and community health assistants, drawn from the 6 nursing and midwifery colleges in Central Province. The graduation ceremony was graced by Central Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala on behalf of the Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo, who said government is committed to improving the provision of health care services in the country.
A number of qualified human resources are deployed and take up positions in health facilities to provide universal access to high quality health. You can see that the government, under the capable leadership of His Excellency the President, Mr. Akainde Ichilema, is working hard and has proven its practical will to support in facilitating improved health service.
And to prove this, government has announced the construction of a general hospital at Matsompola Level 1 Hospital in Kembe constituency of Chiwombo District.
I am pleased to mention that a general hospital is earmarked for construction at Matsompola Level 1 Hospital by the government of the Republic of Zambia, and constructions will commence soon.
As part of this commitment, the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia has revised the Code of Ethics for nurses and midwives to make it current.
Has revised the Code of Ethics for nurses and midwives to make it current, relevant, and responsive to the emerging trends and realign it to the provisions of Nurses and Midwives Act number 10 of 2019. Concerned with the growing gap in the clinical skills of our practitioners. This development is very unfortunate and poses a threat to the safety and well-being of the clients who rely on expertise and competence of nurses and midwives.
The joyful graduates are very optimistic about their career prospects.
It has been a mental marathon, but here we are today. standing right on the finish line, even as we brace ourselves for more achievements to come. Today is a day when we have a sense of fulfillment.
For ZANIS News, I'm Daniel Billy in Kapimposhi District, Central Province.
To Mchinga Province now, where our staffer Sheila Masua reports that Zampam plantation has encouraged farmers to venture into growing climate-resilient palm trees, saying the market is readily available for the product. More in this report.
To cushion the effects of climate change, Zampam is encouraging farmers to grow climate-resilient palm trees. Zampam, Zambia's first ever commercial plantation, boasts of 3,000 hectares of palm trees. Management at the plantation have attested to increased rainfall in the area, resulting from planting of the trees.
In terms of climate change, I would encourage that we have a lot of small-scale farmers come on board to come and become our outdoor farmers, so that we can increase on the number of trees around this area, so that we can improve on the rainfall that we are receiving. One thing I will tell you about palms, oil palm trees, is that here where we are as Zampam, we are not cutting down trees, because the project was set in such a way that we are not supposed to cut down trees.
In order to meet the market demand of palm oil, other companies have come on board by giving farmers outgrower schemes.
The initiative was set up is that we recruited farmers around the Zampam plantation, trained them, and then supported them with inputs. So we've been supporting them since 2018 to date. This is almost their fifth year of OPOC supporting the farmers, and most of our farmers will be coming into production. Now, to come to your question, how do we work with the farmers in this case? So OPOC in this case is operating in 5 chiefdoms. That is Chief Kopa, Senior Chief Kopa, Kabinga, Luchembe, Chikwanda, and Chief Mpepo. And what OPOC has done is that it has registered 1,874 outgrower farmers. And these 1,874 outgrower farmers are growing a total hectareage of 1,118 hectares of oil palm.
Farmers listed under the scheme shared the benefits.
Most of the children were not finishing school, but because of growing palms, we have money to support them.
The
palm tree is climate resilient as compared to maize. When we experience less rain, the palm tree is not affected.
So fika pusana netaba yene palm tree ikakula fe bwino bwino ikesekula kumanya kambine mfule ikesa isu ikakulena bwino bwino.
Sheila Masua reporting for ZANIS in Kanchibia.
We now take our second break and more stories when we come back. Stay tuned.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, ZANIS TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
In business news, a delegation of Anhui province of China on the Copperbelt province is on the Copperbelt province for business prospects and has since expressed interest to invest in various areas of the economy. The team, led by Provincial People's Congress Standing Committee Vice Chairperson Tao Minglan, says China and Zambia have continued to enjoy warm relationships, and the team wants cooperation to continue for the betterment of the two countries. Mr. Minglan was speaking when his team paid a courtesy call on Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo at his office. He said the Anhui province, which has 72 million people, wants to twin with the Copperbelt province to strengthen cooperation through exchange visits and investment. And Mr. Matambo said the long-standing cooperation between Zambia and China has resulted in more than 600 Chinese companies investing in the country in various sectors.
It's not only depends on the management of all such enterprises, but also it depends on the support from the minister and also from the PS.
借这个机会啊，我们安徽省代表团向省长先生、向常秘表示衷心的感谢。
So we just want to make full use of these opportunities to express our gratitude to the minister and also the PS.
世界疫情恢复正常以后啊，我们的安徽铜陵有色啊，在同代省的生产经营也越来越正规，应该说越来越壮大，越来越好。
Actually, as the worldwide COVID ends and the cooperation from Tongling Conference has been improved a lot, and the results shows very good.
铜陵有色也深深地融入到这个同代省了。我们当地有很多员工都是同代的当地人。
Actually, Tongling Conference has become more and more linked with Copperbelt province.
The other problem which is there, which will need improvement, is to try and give business to Zambian companies. Because in some situations, some Chinese companies, when they invest here, they give business of contracts, supplying, they give back to the companies which are coming from China. So it's not making sense. It's not adding value. So when companies from China come, they invest on the copper belt, we want them to, yes, they can give some business, some contracts and supply business to other companies from China, but mainly they should empower Zambian companies. They give business to Zambian companies to supply contractors, so that the economy of Copper Belt and the living standards of our people here in Zambia and on the Copper Belt can improve.
Now, Zambia's permanent representative at the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland, Eunice Luambia, says Zambia's participation in the forthcoming Human Rights 75th is a significant demonstration of the country's dedication to upholding human rights and enhancing fundamental freedoms of the Zambian people. We now take our final break. Don't go away.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, ZANIS TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
In issues of climate change, the Ministry of Green Economy, through the Ecosystem-Based Adaptation Project, is training communities on the effects of climate change in Kanchibia district in Mchinga province. Sheila Masua has details in the following report.
Over the years, Munakishi ward in Kanchibia district has been prone to floods. The Ministry of Green Economy, through the Ecosystem-Based Adaptation Project, has devised interventions that work around changing people's mindsets.
Today, this is the training that the Ecosystem-Based Adaptation Project had promised, and it's going to kickstart today. It also looks at climate change and how communities can actually create resilience to the effects of climate change.
The project has further engaged the Zambia Agricultural Research Institute to teach farmers method and seed varieties that could withstand changes in climate.
From the technologies that ZARI has developed, we know which varieties are well suited to the certain environments, considering the change in climate. Then we have selected those varieties that ZARI has developed and have been tested. We are now taking them out to farmers' fields so that farmers can see how those varieties are performing.
Both the local leadership and the farmers have appreciated the training.
We are encouraging our communities, one, not to cut down trees. So what we're saying is we need our communities, our forest restored. So the project is bringing in planting of fruit trees, planting of pine, so that in areas where the soils are eroded, such calamities will be a thing of the past.
We have been cutting trees because we didn't know the importance of having trees. And now we are experiencing problems. We don't have rains and the place is too windy, which is affecting our farming. Sheila Masua for ZANIS in Kanchibia, Muchinga Province.
Meanwhile, government is happy with the Mutipula Royal establishment for the installation of Chieftainess Mutipula of the Ushi people of Luapula Province without succession wrangles. Luapula Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Prudence Chinama has since urged other royal establishments to emulate the Mutipula institution. More in the following report by Kennedy Chomba.
Maureen Chama has been installed as the new Chieftainess Mutipula of the Chishinga people of Chipiri district. The newly installed chieftainess will be called by the name Nankomesha wants the issue of alcohol abuse to be addressed in a chiefdom. The chieftainess, who spoke through a representative Newton Chabala, has since banned the brewing of illicit local beer in a chiefdom so as to prevent underage drinking and allow subjects to focus on productive activities.
We are also going to address and help to regulate the beer drinking laws. We are not going to tolerate and encourage underage drinking. As a chiefdom, we have come up with an initiative of banning of brewing, selling, and buying of illicit beer kachasu.
For Chiefs Council, they are happy that the succession has been done without wrangles.
Even now, the issue Yabufumu is still before the courts of law. The same.
And government wants other chiefdoms still having succession wrangles to emulate the Mutipula chiefdom in the way they have managed to find a replacement for the late chief without disputes.
Your Royal Highnesses and invited guests, allow me to deeply thank the Mutipula Royal Establishment for appointing the new chieftainess in an expeditious and peaceful manner. The Royal Establishment is highly commended and congratulated for this noble task they have undertaken. What we have witnessed here in Mutipula Chiefdom is historical and must be emulated by all chiefdoms, not only here in Luapula, but also the country at large. Within just a space of 3 months, we have witnessed a peaceful process of installing a chieftainess in a peaceful manner.
Kenneth Chomba reporting for ZANIS News in Chipiri District.
Still in Luapula Province, the Secondary Education Teachers Union of Zambia, Luapula leadership has been conducting gender-based violence (GBV) sensitization activities in different parts of the region. More in this report.
Masumina mapanga bandi kanino kumipela ka stand ero mwasa mukulembesha yo bali mpangire bambonfya ero bankanina mwali ukwa kubaumi abatabafya labana beno abakashana mwikarana abakashana then starter ale urungana nabana amipanga bakashibu bonse nabana beno muni bakashibu mwe mupwe mpadi nabana come and report to victim support unit mwana mfine that is rape 30 steps further lelala nabana bamukashi yo nali mufaya ali sumina ufaye banyina ufaye no mwana no not at all. Report such character.
A snippet of interactive public conversations on the broader spectrum of gender-based violence. As part of observing 16 days of gender activism, the Secondary Education Teachers Union Luapula Province leadership has been conducting GBV sensitization activities in different localities of the province. The Luapula Sestus leadership share the significance of being agents against all forms of GBV.
Activism against gender-based violence over a number of years now. And we have actually picked on a number of communities within Mansa and outside Mansa because we want this awareness to go as far as possible. So we have visited the 4 hospitals, we've been to the prisons, we've been to the markets like this, we've been to different institutions, including schools, so that we try as much as possible to disseminate the information about gender-based violence.
We are trying our level best to ensure that we do well by communicating to the members out there, not just to the residents of Mansa, but to Luapula province as a whole.
Chiliapa Market in Mansa district was one of the public spots the team held its sensitization in the company of the Zambia Police Victim Support Unit.
tuyifumye kubauti ati chikule bwino kwatyo kuyandanchi bwa chalo bwino mutalo chesu ichazana so tuyilaboko tufumine tulefa imbuto yishi kulile bwino filefe bonse balela ndako twambe kufisa shani
David Ndovi for ZANIS, Mansa.
The Northwestern Province Health Office will soon embark on an indoor residue spraying and mass distribution of insecticide-treated mosquito nets to combat malaria in the region. Details in this report by Chaibu Nkoma.
Government is working round the clock to reduce malaria incident rates in Northwestern Province, which stands at 8,000 cases per 100,000 population. Northwestern Province Public Health Specialist Dr. Kizito Sampa says because of these alarming numbers of malaria cases, the Provincial Health Office is implementing 2 programs, indoor residue spraying and mass distribution of insect-treated mosquito nets that is yet to start soon.
The incidence rate for Northwestern is in the range of 8,000 cases actually per 100,000 population. So which is quite high. It's amongst the highest in the country actually. In simple terms, I would say 8 out of 10 people are likely to have malaria at one point. Sure, yes, which is quite high.
Dr. Sampa is appealing to all the residents in Solwezi district to cooperate with the people carrying out spraying exercise.
We require cooperation from the people. Let the houses be available, accessible, so that they can also be sprayed in order for us to reduce the burden of malaria that we have.
However, community members have mixed feelings about the spraying program.
Awe mshirebe na kusansa umazuo. Wana kuimbele kona fulu wana kuingira tu pacheche, not sana ni. Deyo ba sanshire mu munzubo. Bakokolo chimino bafuire bamwekere amba bafu. Bachibufu kupakulara. Wamona tuma mosquito yo atendeka kupitanga na fuchi twa wanu. Kena yuka ne kana muchike udisana na nguvu kana wakepere kena yuka bulongo sana ni. Bachituma mosquito tunakumvuika. Batini shibasansa mu munzubo.
Kwaito atotera ifi baturetere ko muti bare tusanshira ko mayanda impemfu nashikiramo ba mosquito bare tusuma.
Reporting for ZANIS News, I am Chaibu Nkoma in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
On the Copperbelt Province, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, has launched the $18.5 million United States Stop Gender-Based Violence project to run for 5 years. Provincial Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo says the project will be implemented in 6 selected districts in 6 provinces, namely Central, Copperbelt, Luapula, Northern Muchinga, and Northwestern. On the Copperbelt Province again, the rescue team has continued with its mission of searching for more than 31 trapped small-scale miners at Senseli mine in Chingola. The search has entered day 9 with only 3 bodies and 1 person retrieved alive so far. However, stakeholders have continued making donations of money and food to help the 38 affected families. Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo has thanked the Chinese community and other stakeholders for contributing money and other assorted food items to the affected families. Details in the following report.
The rescue team has continued searching for the more than 31 small-scale miners who were trapped at Senseli mine in Chingola on the Copperbelt Province. On day 9, Since the small-scale miners were trapped, only 4 people have been retrieved. So far, 3 are dead and 1 is alive. These families have continued waiting for the fate of their beloved ones trapped under these tunnels. Copperbelt Minister Elisha Matambo last night explained the situation.
So far, we have put 3 dead bodies since we started the operations to rescue our brothers, and 1 alive, which brings the total number as at now to 4. Out of 4, 3 are dead bodies, and 1 is alive and is doing very fine. Actually, is out of danger according to the medical personnel, and he was moved from ICU, is in the general ward.
However, stakeholders have continued donating foodstuffs and money to the affected families through the district secretariat that has been set up.
Bereaved families, but Zambia at large. As a Chinese community, we feel Zambia has not only lost young men, but has lost economic partners, because those were small-scale miners and contributed to the economic turnaround. We are also directly affected as investors because they were our partners as in business, and together we worked towards bettering ourselves for the betterment of Zambia economy.
Copperbelt Minister and Mines Minister Paul Kauswe thanked the stakeholders.
We want to say that your help cannot come at a time which is more than this time. This is the right time, because the challenges which we are facing actually will be enlightened with this.
That your community comes in handy when we have a situation like this. We also had the Nkana Alloy coming in. They supported us to a very huge amount of money. So it is important that, especially those that are involved in mining, we are not saying only those involved in mining, but those that are involved in mining would do well to actually emulate what you've done.
Among the retrieved people, 2 bodies have since been buried because they were not in good condition. Tovini Ngombe, ZANIS, Chingola.
And finally, on a sad note, the late former Member of Parliament for Magoe constituency, Emerson Majila, was put to rest this morning at his farm in Chief Hanjaliga's area in Mazabuka district. Here's a report.
A solemn moment for the people of Magoe as they witnessed the burial of their once gallant leader, Emerson Majila. Mr. Majila served as Member of Parliament for Magoe constituency from 2016 to 2021 under the UPND. Before that, he held different portfolios in the civil service, including being Mose District Commissioner, head teacher, and lecturer. Law Government Minister Gary Nkombo represented President Hakainde Hichilema at the burial.
The President sent a message of deep condolences to the widow of the late Honorable Emerson Majila, the former MP for Magoe, here where we are. The President has described Mr. Emerson Majila as one who was created filled with humility, humbleness, in light of the number of projects that he found on the ground.
Current Magoe MP, Chief Hanjaliga, and Chief Shona were among men who gathered to pay their last respect to the late.
But he embarked on a huge task to help mitigate on the education sector and health sector, where we started constructing a clinic in Chibuyu, a clinic in Siowi, a clinic in Mbia, a clinic in Nachipoma. All these were started by Honorable Majila, which we ably completed.
Family members are devastated.
To everyone, our father was a very humble person. Our father prioritized family, And in doing that, he made a lot of sacrifices. He made a lot of deliberate decisions really to uplift a lot of people in society, including us, his children.
The late Mr. Majira is survived with one wife and 9 children. Gift Banji, ZANIS in Mazabuka, Southern Province.
On that note, we end ZANIS News, but before we go, let's take another look at the top stories. Government warns perpetrators of corruption. Northwestern Province Police Command receives CDF vehicles. Rehabilitation of township roads in Mongu district begins. And former Magoye lawmaker put to rest. Thank you so much for watching the news. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is Henry Himonde. Until next time, it's goodbye.